I have been sort of obsessed with this story about this dude, George Santos, who just won a congressional election in New York, and he's a Republican. And it turns out he lied about like literally everything he could possibly have lied about.
Okay. Everything.
Yes.
Like everything. At this point, I would be surprised if his name is George Santos.
Right. So true.
I'm not exaggerating. I would be like, well, of course, if it came out tomorrow that his name is not George Santos.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
well, obviously.
I mean, even so, part of his pitch was like, oh, I'm the son of immigrants and I'm this, gay Jewish Republican. So he's like using a lot of the sort of like identity tropes too to appeal to Republicans and then to the general electorate. And it turns out also the part about him being gay is kind of called into question because he was...
Oh, I don't believe he's gay for a second.
He was married to a woman up until like 2 weeks before he filed for his candidacy.
Oh, come on.
I mean, listen, who knows? But...
And he also said, I didn't say I was Jewish. I said I was Jew-ish. Like, I like lox on a bagel. Like...
But then they found literature where he said, like, I am a proud American Jew. The Republican Jewish Coalition has now disowned him and said he's not welcome. Anyway, so...
After your updates, I got another one for you. Okay. Go ahead.
Lied about his education. He didn't actually go to college. Ugh. Lied about his business. Lied about his charity. Lied about his work experience. He made up all these, like, anecdotes.
He said he worked at Goldman Sachs. Like, bro, that's not even a political advantage.
Right.
It's like, I'm one of the assholes who ruins everything. That's me.
Right. So that, and then... You also he would make up these anecdotes. So, that his grandparents fled the Holocaust. Not true. He's not even Jewish or related to anyone Jewish.
He got hammered on that one, by the way. That was one of the big ones that everybody was like, fuck you.
Yeah. He said he had 4 employees who were killed in the Pulse nightclub shooting. Also not true. So, I mean, he just made up absolutely
He's
everything.
Pathological, yeah.
Yeah.
He's pathological.
Totally
right.
pathological. What's the updated one you have for
okay. So earlier today I saw this. George Santos once tweeted he was a, quote, biracial person and claimed to be Caucasian and black. Now, why did he do this? Because he posted a meme on social media of Obama and Michelle Obama as monkeys.
Oh, so he posted
and so he got pushback on it, and then he's like,
oh, well, I'm actually...
bro, I can't even be racist. I'm like half white and half black.
Wow.
And then the other one is, so he lied about his mom dying on 9/11 for no reason. So here's a tweet from 2021. 9/11 claimed my mother's life. So I'm blocking so I don't ever have to read this again. He was saying that in response to somebody. And then in the same fucking year, 2021, just like 5 months later, December 23rd this year marks 5 years I lost my best friend and mentor. Mom, we'll love you forever.
So he didn't even tell the right story in the right year about his mom.
No.
Wow.
No.
Unbelievable.
He's, again, pathological. Look, this story exposes a weakness in my character and my disposition to the world. Because I am inclined to always take people at face value until proven otherwise. Like, it'll be in good faith. I'll look at what you say charitably until you prove otherwise. Then I'll flip and account everything. But like, maybe that's not the right way to go about it. Maybe the default assumption should be every single fucking person is totally full of shit until proven otherwise.
I don't know.
Because this is so brazen.
Is an outlier, though.
But this is but that's the thing. Is he? Even if it's like, okay, let's give a number here. Let's say 10% of people are like this guy. We have, 350 million people in the United States of America?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so shocking because it is such an outlier, but then there are shades of this. And obviously the Republican, at the national level, Kevin McCarthy needs his vote for the speakership. And so they're very interested in being like, oh, George Santos, who? I don't know what you're talking about. And their whole strategy is then to point to Democratic instances of embellishments or lies or whatever. So for example, I don't know if these are the particular examples that they've been using because I haven't kept that close a track of what their defense is, but you could imagine them talking about like Biden making up his whole Nelson Mandela incident. Or, I mean, he is a known plagiarist that's what got him bounced out of his first presidential campaign. Kamala Harris made up that whole like freedom story. Remember that?
Yeah,
one?
I do. Biden also copied speeches. He plagiarized.
Yeah. But there is a level of difference between like I made up some anecdote that I thought would benefit me on the campaign trail versus like I literally invented every detail of my entire life.
But my flaw is I project. So I know that I'm always giving everybody my true self. And so I just assume like of course, why wouldn't you be giving me your true self?
Yeah.
But it's like, some percentage of the population is like this asshole, even if it's as low as like, let's say 0.1%.
Yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think they're disproportionately represented in like the highest echelons of society.
I agree,
it
which is
you to be like a
shameless.
To be.
Honestly, the more shameless you are in our system, the further you go.
Yeah.
Think about how many smooth talking, charismatic, massive pieces of shit who are greedy, selfish.
What about Sam Bankman-Fried?
And they get super fucking far because they get to present this image of themselves to the world. But honestly, they're more shameless than anything, and they don't care about paying people shit who work for them and who they got to step on in order to get by. So in a sense, again, I come back to this all the time. In a sense, we live in like an anti-meritocracy.
Yeah.
Not only is it not a meritocracy, it's an anti-meritocracy.
And certainly when it comes to like moral character. But
absolutely.
So that's one piece of it that I find fascinating. It's just like the psychology of someone who could lie about every facet of their life like this. But there's another piece of this with potential like serious legal implications that is still a bit of a mystery. So, he apparently came into money from somewhere in the past like 2 years.
Yeah, and nobody knows where it's from.
Right. Prior to this, he's working low-level jobs. He was behind on his rent. He was like struggling financially. But in this campaign, he was able to put $700,000 of supposedly his own money into the campaign. And all of the stories he's told about his business life, like none of it has added up. This company that, he says he's getting the money from, that he's earning the money from, Devolder organization. There's not much record of this thing existing or what it does or anything like that to see where this amount of cash could ultimately have come from. And this has potential real legal implications because obviously you can't take $700,000 from corporations. You can't take $700,000 from anyone directly into your campaign other than out of your own bank account. So if this money came from somewhere else, that could be a huge criminal act. So Daily Beast has a little bit of reporting on this facet. And by the way, this is all now starting to be investigated by state and local authorities. So they are looking into this aspect of it. But lo and behold, they were able to find a few, like 4 clients of this Devolder organization. And effectively, all of them are big Republican political donors. So I'll read you the details here. They say the Daily Beast has confirmed 4 Devolder organization clients. New York-based Tantillo Auto Group, 2 organizations tied to the influential Ruiz family in South Florida, another firm associated with Long Island insurance magnate James Metzger. Santos acknowledged all 4 of these clients on Wednesday. Members of both of those families, along with Metzger, also all happen to be Santos campaign donors, and some of them have further stakes in the Long Island political scene, including major donations to top Santos ally Representative Lee Zeldin, who just lost his bid for governor. 3 members of the Tantillo family gave $44,800 to Santos' political efforts, according to the FEC. 3 members of the Ruiz family, who appear on the corporation documents, have given $17,300. Metzger gave $23,700. Those include larger gifts to DeSantos' Victory Committee. And in Metzger's case, the Santos-Nassau Victory Committee joint fundraising groups that split money between the congressman's campaign and his leadership PAC. That's how you're able to contribute more than the lower level limits. So this looks very, very fishy. And they talked to someone who's like a campaign finance expert and said that this would be a very clear-cut way to avoid campaign finance limits. Basically, you set up a like dummy corporation that you funnel political donations through to then pass them off as your own funds. And they were like, I'm not saying that is what happened, but this is how you would do it. And the fact that the only people that they can find associated with this thing are all basically like supporters of his campaign and big Republican givers. A lot of red flags there.
Yeah, so he's a Frankenstein of political corruption, effectively. I wonder if those people were also hoodwinked or if they were just like, I don't care because I know you're going to serve my interest when you get in there, so here.
I bet they were sort of hoodwinked. I think he was a shapeshifter. I mean, he told people whatever they needed to hear to like push their particular political buttons. So when you're in front of the Republican Jewish coalition, his grandparents fled the Holocaust and he's a proud American Jew. When he's trying to get out of trouble, hot water from some like racist meme he posted, suddenly he's African American. Like, I'm sure he shapeshifted for these rich donors' benefit. And then ultimately, like, they probably didn't really care that much as long as he could gain power.
But final point, this guy made it to Congress. What does that say about everything, about the system,
right.
about the voters.
And ran 2 times. So they had 4 years to uncover this pack of lies and never did.
And you know what the Democrat, Oppo research was like? This guy said something about January 6th, bro. It wasn't good, bro. Good job, guys. Stellar work.
Nailed
you guys
it.
Really freaked it.
Once again, so embarrassing.
Yes, definitely.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get to my interview with a longtime friend of mine, Torrey. We used to co-host Cycle together back in the old MSNBC days. And like I said, he's always a really interesting and thoughtful cultural critic. Has a great new book out called The Ivy League Counterfeiter. He's a best-selling author. He's also host and editor at The Griot. Let's get to it.
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.